all day.
That's good. That's good, guys. Welcome, guys. We're live. Hey, guys, what's going on? It's Steeler here back again with RDX Podcast. We happen to have a special guest today. Our first patron is joining us live for the show. And really, I wanted to start by introducing everybody, as I always do, starting with the Ash and Luke. Let us know how you've been. How's your foot? Your foot recovering well since you curb stomped Top Fraud? How you been?
Yeah, it's slowly recovering, but it's pretty active. I have to curb stomp these fools on a daily basis. But what's up, people? Another Tuesday night RDX podcast with the boys. I'm looking forward to getting into these topics. Happy to welcome Breakneck to the show. Yeah, let's do this, fellas.
Yes. So we'll get to Breakneck because, you've been such a great supporter. Colt Eastwood, how you been besides making stellar videos and doing what you do and using your beard as a pop filter for your microphone? How you been?
Where do you get this stuff? I've been awesome, playing through Shadow of War, probably one of my favorite games this year so far. Just did a video today about what the heck was it about?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, I've been really good. Yeah, good to be on RDX as always.
All right, good to hear. Fonzarelli, how you been, brother?
Hey, it's great, man. It's Tuesday. It's time for RDX. This is amazing. And I just want to give a shout out to the chat, to the whole community. This community is awesome. Just amazing.
Oh, yeah, I got to agree, man. We got some pretty ridiculous supporters. You guys are ridiculous. Breakneck Nebula, thank you for joining us as a patron. Man, how you been, man? I've seen you in the chat. You've been supporting like a motherfucker. What's up, guy?
Yeah, I'm good. Just been playing along. Managed to get a lot of hours in Shadow of War, which is good because I got that game for ridiculously cheap. So I've got my money's worth out of it already.
Well, I think that game's worth at least $60. Great game.
Yeah, I'm kind of like regretting not getting the silver or gold edition because I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I would.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. I think it's packed with content. We got a lot of good topics today, guys. As always, we're going to start with some of the lighter stuff and wait for people to file in. Do the usual thing. We're going to start by talking about Evil Within 2, of course. We've got some resolution counts for those curious. We've got several questions about this. So the game does run anywhere from 900p to 810p for those who happen to give a fuck. And, of course, it is getting Xbox One X support. Does not currently have Pro support, but is getting Pro support. The reviews are pretty good. Anybody here played Evil Within 2 or know anything about how the game's reviewing? Any information there?
I'm scared.
It's too spooky for me.
Too spooky for Nebula. Anybody else?
Too spooky for me.
All right. Let's start with an easier question here. Anybody play the first one?
I dabbled, and I got motion sickness, and that was
wow.
That game's camera was held by a drunk person with just taken 10 energy drinks, a bit like me. And then they put black bars, and then it had film grain on it, and it genuinely made me feel sick, and I had to go and return the game.
Oh man, that's an extreme case of I don't have no clue. That's crazy. Nobody else in here played Evil Within 1.
Come on, Luca, did you play it?
No,
Luca's not afraid.
No, I have more interest in watching people play scary games than actually playing them myself.
Well, the game is doing well on Metacritic. It's actually doing decent. So I figured I was going to pick it up, probably wait for the X. But just for those wondering, the game is running, even though it's got some problems in the hub world area with frame rate and stuff right now, it's still running generally overall better than the first one did. So I don't know. The game looks better. It runs better. I did want to talk about the Middle-earth Shadow of War resolution real quick as well. It does run at 1080p most of the time in the Xbox One and does scale down to just above 900p occasionally. I want to talk about this game because I've actually, I think, beaten this game, and it's absolutely great. I have no clue why it's in low 80 right now, Metacritic. I know Lucas played it. Luca, what do you think about Middle-earth Shadow of War so far?
I think it's really good so far. Honestly, the reason why it's sitting so low is because of the loot crates in that debacle. Yeah, it's because people have been review bombing it, giving it zeros just because of it. So that's why it's sitting so low. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. And it's just unfortunate that people are willing to be sheep and just go with the crowd instead of checking out the game themselves.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the industry...
If you don't mind me putting in here, sorry.
This is all right. Let me help you guys. Cole Eastwood, I know you have a lot to say. Let us know what you think about the game so far.
The industry reviews, we just looked this up today, are around 82 for Shadow War, or higher. I can't remember. But
yeah,
I
low
mean,
80s.
they're okay. So I haven't seen the industry people criticize the game for microtransactions. They know better than that. They're the ones who actually have the game. They play through it. They have trouble with the menu system, like GameSpot does. But no, what a fantastic game!
Yeah, it was a 7 out of 10 because it couldn't figure out the menu system. So, Breakneck, I know you've been playing Shadow of War. Real quick, what are your thoughts on the game? What do you think?
I like it. First of all, it's extremely enjoyable. Like it's taking all the good stuff from the first game, like the Nemesis system, the combat, and it's shedding off all the crap, like the world and the grayness of everything, and it's just improving it in a way that's just it's enough. It's got just enough improvement to make it something new, but it's not like a reskin of anything.
That's a good way of putting it. I think the guy from IGN did it very well when he referenced Arkham City, Batman Arkham City. He kind of compared it to that kind of improvement where it's just more of what you love with a better story, etc., things like that. So
I've gotten about I think I've got about 46, 40. Well, it says I've got 2 days and 8 hours played. I cannot remember what that is in actual numbers because I am just at the moment. But I have not once felt the need to buy a loot crate in that game. There is not one time where I've gone, oh,
not
great,
at all.
I can't progress without buying it. And I'm on stage 8 of the Shadow Wars, and this, like, people are saying, oh, this is an incredible grind. It's not. I managed to get halfway through it after 2 hours of play. If you play the game, you will get through it. Like, you'll be calling a game bad because it's got microtransactions in it and saying it's an ender's grind. It's just how games are now.
So how many stages of the Shadow Wars are there?
There's 10. But it goes like the first four sieges are all the individual fortresses. Then it goes on to 2 fortresses that you have to defend, then you have to defend 3, and the next stage for me is all 4 of them together. And like you can either defend the fortresses, but what I'm doing is I'm purposely giving the fortresses up, and then it's much easier for you to go in, take down the war chiefs, and then go in and siege the fortress, and that counts as a stage. And that's much quicker than grinding these orcs out and whatnot. It's much easier to take on 1 war chief than it is to take on 5, and that's how. So
that's kind of the thing we're hearing about, where people are saying there's a 20-hour grind to get the real ending. Is that what we're hearing about?
It's nowhere near 20 hours. Like, there is no way that I've put half of my playtime into the Shadow Wars. I've put about 15 hours in, and I'm very near the end. I was planning on completing it today, but I went to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning last night. So,
I completely agree, man. The microtransaction stuff with Shadow Wars is just complete bullshit, and that's another great reason why it's wise to wait until a game comes out and play it before you freak the fuck out on a game that really is great.
Yeah, and if you want to try out those crates, you do these online vendettas where you go and attack a captain that killed one of your friends on Xbox Live, and it not only has you go attack the captain, you have to kind of fulfill a requirement, like you have to snipe 10 archers before that guy will come out, the guy that killed Dealer previously in his single-player game. You attack him. Yeah, you get this really cool crate and these items that drop for doing an online vendetta to put you back in your game. I just haven't figured out if there's like almost triple the content of the first game to me. Whenever I play it, I don't know what you guys think. It just seems like we're
really not trying to harp on this one game forever, but it really is that good, guys. It's better than the first game in every way. You're not incentivized to buy these crates at all throughout the game that I've experienced. I haven't even been to the store, but just to kind of look at it. Fonz, really, I know you don't have it, man, but what do you have you heard anything positive about the game? You considering getting it after finding out the microtransactions are bullshit?
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. Everything that I've heard from close friends is that those microtransactions aren't intrusive in this game. So I don't see it being a real issue. I don't like microtransactions, but I especially don't like the type that are intrusive or is a pay-to-win scenario or anything like that. I don't like that stuff, but from what I hear from friends, it's a fun game. It may be a little grindy, which is to be expected nowadays, especially with microtransactions. I think they help promote that. but and that is a problem. But everything from what I'm hearing from friends is that it's not really an issue here in this game. So
I wouldn't even call it grindy. At least like I've got like about 2 days of play time in this. Well, I wouldn't say I've grinded at all. I mean, the more you do, I end up fighting the captains just because I want to, right? And that's what you get all the stuff in the loot crates that you get in the captains, and you end up killing them anyway. And the more of them you take over or take out, the easier the fortress is to take down. So I just steamrolled the last fortress I did because of my work. It didn't feel like a grind. So
what I did,
just like some people say it's a real grind in some games that I may like. To me it's fun. So everybody has their own preferences. With
I think we can all agree that it's a good game, and I really recommend it to people. I did want to mention this real quick for pro owners, that the game runs at 1620p on the Pro in resolution mode. Keep in mind it's going to be native 4K in the X1X. And, of course, it does not support high-resolution textures or anything like that. It does have the exact same texture quality that the Xbox One has. So,
clarify that, dealer. What do you mean? It has the same texture quality but doesn't have 4K textures. So what's that going to look like different?
It has the same texture quality as the Xbox One now and the PS4 now. The Pro does not have a texture boost. So if you don't like the textures now, you're not going to like them on the Pro. It's just going to be a sharper frame buffer.
It has a 4K cinematics pack for those pre-rendered, so you can.
It does have 4K cutscenes. Yes, you can download.
You can break your immersion in 4K when you switch from one armor to another, and then back again.
That is kind of confusing. They do these pre-rendered cutscenes in Shadow War, and your outfit will change in those cutscenes. So
worked in the first game because you couldn't change your outfit unless you wore a skin, but.
This is something breakneck that I want a little bit of your opinion on here. Activision, this patent just leaks, right? And Luca brought this to our attention. Activision basically patented a system that uses matchmaking to encourage people to buy more microtransactions. So throughout your online play, it will keep tabs on how you're doing, what you're doing, and it will incentivize you to buy more of their microtransactions. Activision, the sleaziest piece of shit gaming company there is, at it again, trying to find more ways for people to buy microtransactions. Chat, I'd like your opinion on this too.
You thought EA was bad today.
I thought what?
Yes, and you thought EA was doing a bad job today.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. But yeah, what do you think about this real quick? We're gonna ask Luca because she really brought this to our attention.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What do you think about it?
Oh, me. I think that it's absolute crock of shit, and it shouldn't be doing that because, first of all, you shouldn't have skill-based matchmaking in the first place, which is what this is. Everything should be connection-based. You should be connected with somebody that's going to have the same connection as you, so the game experience is better. Mm-hmm. And now what they're doing is going like, right, so these new people that have just bought their game are going to be put in lobbies we're going to purposely make the game worse for them to make them to sell loot crates. And I think that Activision knows what they're doing, and they know that this is going to get a lot of hate, and they're just going to do it anyway because that's what Activision does.
Of course, and nobody really gives them much shit. And by the way, we got to give a shout out to well over 200 people watching us already live. Please hit that like button, show your support. We appreciate it. Luca, I wanted your opinion on this because you brought it to our attention. The way they're manipulating this system, they've got a patent which basically is going to learn your behaviors if you're losing, winning, and then incentivize you to buy more microtransactions. Leave it to Activision. What are your thoughts on this?
Not only does it do that, it makes it so... Okay, so the patent mentioned that it pairs high-level skilled players with low-level skilled players to incentivize the players with lower skill to buy these microtransactions. First of all, I'm not surprised. Activision, they're super scummy. Like, I'm actually shocked that it took 2 years for us to find this out. But it's kind of like,
like, what the hell, Activision? You're letting us down, you piece of shit. You should have had this out years ago.
Like, everyone knows that they suck. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows that they're shady. Everyone knows they're a shitty company. We are all aware of this. So I'm not surprised. I'm just kind of baffled by how maniacal it is. They're like, you know what? Let's patent this system to make sure that people want to buy microtransactions.
It's game breaking.
It's like they saw what EA did and then went, Oh, we can beat that. We can. Yeah, shutting down the studio. Yeah, we can beat that. We want to be the worst company.
And as a gamer, this is what I fear the most about these microtransactions. And this is why I'm saying to people, stop buying those microtransactions, because it's pushing and it's encouraging these companies to look at different ways to scam us into buying this shit. And believe it or not, that you might fall in, you might be a victim to this stuff one day. You might say, I'm never going to buy them. But let's say one of your favorite franchises comes out with a new game and you're playing this game, and for some reason you can't pass something without purchasing this for $1. You might just end up doing it. But that $1 goes a long way when there's millions buying that $1 item. And these companies are making billions off of this stuff, and Activision is just trying to find a way to get into our pockets even.
Oh, man. It really pisses me off, especially after how Luca worded it, where they're literally pairing. For those just joining, Activision patented a system where it pairs lower-end skilled players with high-skilled players to incentivize the low-skilled players that are losing a lot to purchase microtransactions. If you think that's an absolute load of shit, tweet at Activision, let them know politely. Also hit the like button if you agree. How about that? Because I don't know any other way to put it. It's pretty fucking stupid.
But here's the thing. Games are going to start to get shaped around microtransactions because they sell so well. And people need to wake up about that. Wake up.
It's games, but games that haven't, like Bethesda, for an example. They're taking Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Both games that are aging now, and they're ramming microtransactions into them. These are games that have already been out for a while now. And they're going, well, we're one of the more respected game developers. Yeah, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot with Fallout 4. Let's ruin our games even more and completely ignore all the criticism we get for it. And it's ruining game developers.
I mean, considering how well respected that Bethesda was, I think they're just kind of like, you know what, let's see what we can get away with. Like with the BS with the paid mods for the Creation Club for Skyrim and Fallout 4. It's like, yeah, let's see what we can get away with. Let's see if we can make people pay for this. Oh, we can't? No, okay. Like that community is like, no, we're not doing this. Like, especially since a lot of those initial mods come from the PC community, so they're just like, yeah, we can. No, not happening. So I'm gonna see how far Bethesda goes. I really like them as a company, but we'll see, because it's only a matter of time before they start doing some more BS, and
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Sorry.
I think it's ZeniMax Online, their parent company, that's really pushing this. Colt, what do you think about this bullshit? Activision, chime in here, bud.
Yeah, I'm stuck on this whole thing where I've never bought microtransaction. I never will. And quit buying them, just like Fawn said. quit buying. They're the only reason why microtransactions are a revenue stream is because people are buying them. And this thing with Bethesda trying to charge for mods, where do they get off doing that? And gamers shouldn't be putting up with it, and we need to do something about it. And if we quit buying them, that revenue stream will dry up and they'll quit doing it.
And it's the fact that Bethesda have already made me pay £50 for a game that I bought 4 years ago. Now they're telling me that I can't have more content. I have to pay more for a game that I've already paid for twice over.
Well, it was an option to buy the remaster, right? But I get what you're saying. They should have they made so much money on Skyrim, they should have just added in the survival mode. You know what I'm saying? They should have just, the goodwill is worth more than the money they would probably make.
I'd rather buy well thought out DLC that they've put their heart and soul into than have somebody else foot the bill for a bullshit microtransaction, period.
Yep. And I buy the DLC. Half the time I buy the expansions when I really like a game, and you're paying for more gameplay. I'm not going to pay for cosmetic stuff or stuff you can earn in a game. If Colt Eastwood can earn it in the game, he'll just play the game, because that's why I bought the game, so I can play it.
Case in point, The Witcher 3 here. That had the best executed DLC ever, in my opinion.
It was so amazing. And you get a 10-hour DLC for $10. They're amazing. Like, I love them.
And a 25-hour one for 15 quid. Like.
Well, I wanted to just stress the fact that this is absolutely happening. Whether or not you think it's just as simple as solving by not buying them, it's the principle of the matter when it comes to Activision making and and basically patenting this system that puts low-skilled players in with high-skilled players to incentivize those losing a lot to buy microtransactions to keep up. The principle of the matter, it's just fucked up. So once again, Activision, you found a way to be the biggest fucking idiots in the industry.
Hashtag fuck Activision.
Yeah,
it's like they're injecting their own games as ransomware. Like, you can be better at this game, and we will only let you get better at this game if you give us £5.
yeah.
It's only £5, man. It's only £5.
Oh man, we got to change this subject for Colt has a fucking aneurysm.
Yeah.
All right, I'm giving away some codes for Friday the 13th. Thanks to Southbound, he acquired some codes for the developer. So Friday the 13th, he plays Jason Voorhees, the counselors that dress like not counselors, and you guys try to survive for your life. So, of course, keep in mind that they are releasing the story expansion here soon, and of course, we got to give props to Gun Media for supplying the codes. So we're going to give these codes away. I'm going to give one away to the chat, and of course, one away on Twitter. So if you're interested in Friday the 13th, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, and I'm just going to pick one of you guys at random here, and of course, whichever one gives the best foot job, that's the rule. So that's just the rules of the giveaway. We're going to move on to the next subject. Anybody, well, really, real quick here while we're on this. Fonz, did you play Friday the 13th? Anybody here play it?
No.
It's a little rough at launch, but it's gotten a lot better.
I played it. I played it on the PS. I played it on my PS4 Pro before I traded that bastard in.
Oh,
it was pretty neat. You played as Jason for like 1 in every 100 games, but
yeah, I had a little better luck than that. But yeah, it was a little rougher at launch. It's a little better now. And, you know, we got a lot of ones already in the chat. We'll definitely be announcing that here in the next 5 or so.
Slide one comment in here. Just gonna slide another 1 comment in there. I'm happy to take that code off your hands if it's just going.
Yeah. It's, no. You're disqualified, Breakneck. You're disqualified. Jimmy Habata, basically one of the creative directors on Final Fantasy, the most recent one, praises the Xbox One X. Says he's been waiting for an Xbox One this powerful for a very long time. Also says the X is taking advantage of this thing. It's going to have a high frame rate mode. I know All Day is absolutely interested in trying Final Fantasy. I think it's 15, right? That's the most recent one. Out on the X because the base model consoles was a little rough. Anybody else here play Final Fantasy 15? You're looking for the X version?
Do I play Final Fantasy 15? I feel insulted. I feel insulted about the lack of knowledge about the games that I play. Yeah, I played the shit out of that game, and that game ruined me emotionally, and that's all I'm going to say about it now. And I can be brutally just kicked in the testicles by the emotions in glorious 60 FPS. So I'm looking forward.
You're really getting into this, man.
That's the first time
getting into this Final Fantasy action.
That's the first time I've ever heard testicles.
You're talking to a British person that's had 2 energy drinks. I think that you're gonna
love it.
Yeah. You just need to take a downer. You'll be all right. So yeah, man, it's
I'm gonna have another one in a second.
The X version should look great, man. What do you say, Cole?
Yes, because the base Xbox version of Final Fantasy 15 was kind of ugly. It was in motion. It was pretty ugly. It was hard for me to kind of enjoy what was in the game.
It was really soft.
Yeah, and it just I don't know. It just didn't run very smoothly because it was trying to hit 30 frames. A lot of stuff going on in the game. But yeah, I mean, like I said today in my video, that they're going to try and push for 60 frame target. You know, no developer says we're going to push for 45 frames per second because that's not how it works on a television. You know, either it's 30 hertz or it's 60 hertz to match the TV, right? So they tried to hit 60 with the Pro, and Digital Foundry called it out at about 45 FPS on average. We can only expect slightly above 45 if you're asking me, because of that processor's difference. So I don't know. We'll see.
So Rand in the chat just said, Bonnie, I don't know if you're trolling Rand, but he says Bonnie Ross just announced that Halo Master Chief, I'm guessing Collection, is being fixed and moved over to the Xbox One X. So I guess Master Chief Collection is getting Xbox One X enhancements as well. You might want to Google that one because I haven't looked into it. So
yeah, they tweeted out. They just tweeted out right now.
So that's pretty cool. Thanks, Rand, for the little tidbit of information for Master Chief Collection fans. And once again, guys, shout out to almost 300 people watching us live. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. As we move on to... go ahead.
Shout out to PSN Down for immediately telling me that I'm not wanted here. So big up you, man. Big up. Enjoy it.
He's just trolling. He's just trolling.
I know he's just trolling.
He
and like, I may as well give him the recognition he deserves because that's one dedicated person.
Hey, Fonzarelli, you got any questions for us, bro?
Yeah, I sure do, man. Let me see who this guy is.
Doing the RDX live show question. If you haven't submitted your question, go to Twitter @dealer_gaming. Find my most recent post and submit your question in there to get an answer live on the show.
All right. So Joel at Leadoff USA 1 wants to know now if there's any Xbox games that don't get the patch for the Xbox One X, will they still receive some kind of benefit from playing the game on the X?
Yes, as we covered before, much faster load times alone is a pretty good reason to play the damn thing on the X.
Less frame drops, actually, because just it'll be locked 30 on certain titles.
Pretty much, yeah. You're going to have more consistent frames and better load times.
Thanks
for your question, bud.
Here's a good one for Luca. So at Nick Duran wants to know, do you think Cliffy B needs some PR training?
Absolutely. Like, absolutely he does. Like, bruh. Oh, God.
Luca, do you want to do that?
I just want to say now.
I mean, I could do it. I'd be like, bro, stop. Give me your phone. Give me your computers. Just step away from Twitter and focus on getting people to come play your game because you're down to 10 users a session. Okay, man.
Luca's
10 users a session.
Luca's going to be consulting Cliffy B on Twitter and Trump. It's going to be very busy.
Hashtag fake news. I never said that.
Oh my god! Cliffy.
Yeah, we just need to keep a microphone away from Cliffy's face for a little bit.
Slap, if I ever see him, I'm going to slap around the ear, and he's going to say he's sorry. Like that's just like how stuck
I don't know.
up
He looks like the kind of motherfucker that would bite you, so I'm not sure. You might want to stay away.
Yeah, he'll bite me, and then he'll regret it.
All right. Well, you better carry around some nunchucks because you're gonna hunt you down now. We want to talk about crossplay, basically becoming more and more common. But of course, once again, Sony are refusing to join the party. There's yet another game called Crazy Justice. I do believe that's what it's called.
And another one.
Yeah, getting more crossplay between Xbox, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Man, Fonz, what do you think is going to take for Sony to finally wake up and say, this is really the future? Everyone's moving towards this unity. Why aren't we?
I don't think it's going to happen. People have to realize the Japanese culture is a lot different in their work environments. I think as a company, they just have a different way of thinking and they have a different way of expecting their systems and their, the way they do their business over there is completely different than we do here, is what I'm trying to say.
We see it on Nintendo too, in certain aspects.
And then we have America that's thinking of the children that can't play Minecraft. Oh, no.
Well, there's also Mantis Burn Racing, Dealer. I don't know if you heard about that. That's also getting crossplay with PC, Xbox, and Switch. Isn't that correct? It's the top-down racer?
Yeah, I know what game you're talking about. I don't know about that, but if you say it's the case, it probably is. So.
Yeah, Google that.
Yeah,
but
I've just Googled it. It's 60 FPS and has crossplay on this.
Yeah, so there's 2 games this week that are supporting crossplay. Yeah, I mean, why not?
We got to give a shout out to Indy, Orbital, Darth Vicious, and all these other guys that continuously. Jago, thanks for your support, guys. You guys are awesome. I'm going to give away the code for Friday the 13th, and I've got to give it to Darth Vicious. So message me on Twitter, buddy. I'm going to send you this code for Friday the 13th. Thanks for your support. We're giving out another one, maybe even this same show. So stay tuned. Also, shout out to Titan Drago, awesome guy there as well.
Because everybody stepped on me when I was talking. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that the Japanese culture, it's always been a closed society over there. It's no, secret. That's the way they are. And that's the way they are in business too. So having a closed ecosystem without having crossplay is just natural for them. It fits.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very nationalist over there as well. So they don't really support much else besides their own product. So it is what it is. I'd like to see a more unified thing there, but Sony have no incentives to do so because they are a market leader anyway. So
Just keep giving us great single-player games, Sony. I love them.
Yep. Any other thought on crossplay real quick?
Moving on.
Thoughts on crossplay. I think it's a great idea, and it means that this console war is stupid, and Nintendo and Xbox see that, and they're like, let's just let people play games together. No, everyone, they know that this all bickering and playground fighting was all stupid, and PlayStation are over there in the corner in the sandpit saying, it's not stupid, it's not stupid, while everybody else has fun.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of one of those stupid bullet point type things. But moving on to the Artful Escape developer saying he sees other developers taking full advantage of the Xbox One X. I like to kind of reminisce because not even 5 months ago, a few months ago even, we had all these trolls in the comments saying they won't take advantage of the Xbox One X. It's going to be $800. It won't get any support. It'll be parity. All this bullshit. And since then, I've not heard it because they've been destroyed around every turn. Developers are really taking advantage of this thing, and it's looking amazing. We're getting closer and closer to launch. And, this guy comes out and says, hey, I'm seeing other developers take full advantage of this thing, and there's no reason they shouldn't. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. I thought it was pretty interesting from a developer's point of view.
Yeah, that's really awesome to hear, man, because I was worried about the whole parity thing. Matter of fact, I've made a video before saying I was worried that they were just going to basically take the PS4 Pro model and port it over and say, there you go, enhancements. And,
no, of course not. Sheesh.
Well, you never know with some of these developers.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, I'm sure you'll see it here or there.
Well, keep in mind, early on in this generation, they may have had to work a little bit harder to get their game, up to 900p on the Xbox, and now they're looking at this thing that is going to give them like the vision that they had for their game on the X, and so they're excited about it. And like Dealer said, that's two developers you just cited tonight that are excited about the Xbox One X, and
it's to the point where it's not even. It's so bad, and this really goes out to the anti-X One X people. It's so bad. The support for the Xbox One X, how wrong you were cannot be stated enough to the point where it's not even news. Point when a developer talks about how much better the X is going to be, how much more support it's getting. So, really, it's just time to use some pro there.
May I butt in? Boost mode games count as enhanced, so technically the PS4 has more enhanced titles. So,
yeah. No, so I did that video. I tried to find an actual number of pro supported games, and Sony does not put that number out there. So the best thing I could find was 120. 1 year of the Pro with 120 supported games, and the X has almost 140 with 3 weeks to go. So if you do the math, I mean, they really are 2 times ahead, no matter what the Pro is doing. So it seems to me that developers are slow to offer support to the Pro with their games, and they're very quick to go to the X with all that power. And
they are. They are, and I've said this before. Not only will you get more patches on the X because of the built-in integrated triple dev kit they've got going on, but your patches are going to be more substantial. So, like I said, there'll be better patches. You'll get more of them. It'll be what you should get on an iterative upgrade like this. So before we move on to the next topic, people are asking who Nebula is. He's a patron guest, all that deal. So, of course, he's allowed to join us on the set here because of the support he's offered, and it's good having you on, bud. Also,
take your guest to work day.
Take your guest to work day. That's exactly what it is.
No idea what's going on.
So yeah, he's a patron guest, and of course next week we'll be back to usual and all that good stuff. But this is awesome because we get a chance to interact with more people. Shout out to almost 350 people watching live. Hit that like button, we appreciate it. Luca, are you excited for OG Xbox backward compatibility coming soon?
No.
Okay. I predict exactly what you're going to say. Anybody here looking forward to playing original Xbox games, and that includes you in the chat?
I mean,
yes, I will.
Yeah, I'm excited. I missed out on a couple of titles due to the fact that I was 1 year old when the first Xbox came out. So it'd be nice to go back and play titles that I never knew existed.
Mm-hmm. And you're not alone. Anybody else, Fonz?
I'll definitely dabble with it. If I see something that perks my interest, I'll check it out. I think people are just blasting it a little bit too hard. You know, I mean, you might find something there that you might really like. I did the same thing with Game Pass. I thought, who wants to play these older games and stuff? Man, there's a lot of good games out there that I've missed out on. And, people need to just leave their minds open for this stuff. Okay.
Hey, options are good, bro.
Yep.
So if you want to play, what's that game called? Fucking Crimson Skies or any of that other stuff. Hopefully they bring Mech Assault back, but keep in mind they have a bunch of licensing deals.
Hopefully they get. I know that it probably won't happen, but I really want Spider-Man 2 to be on the Xbox.
You're right. That probably won't happen, Nebula.
I know, but I don't want to hook my PlayStation 2 up because I don't.
So Phil did confirm this again. He says it's on its way, and everything's on track, man.
I'm more excited.
Here's some pretty, I guess it's bad news for PS4, depending on who you ask. Until Dawn coming to PC through PS Now. Anybody played Until Dawn, Fonz?
No, never played it.
Luca?
No.
Okay, so we have no perspective in here right now about Until Dawn.
No.
I hear that people really enjoy the game. It's kind of like a I mean, I watched the Rad Brad play it. It's an interesting game. It's like one of those typical slasher movies, but with a little twist, and I found that entertaining.
Like a David Cage game.
I played Night Trap on Sega CD, so yeah, I've played it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Yeah, I haven't played it either.
I mean, it was on PS Now, not PS Now, the PlayStation Plus game for the month as the month I traded my PS4 Pro in, so I never got a chance to play it. But apparently, it's all right. I'm not that bothered by it because it's very much a David Cage game. So,
well, it is coming to PC through PS Now and any other devices that support PS Now.
Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe, I don't know.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, now. Yeah. Let's go get that.
I had to take I need to take a second and do our.
Wait a minute. Until Dawn is a QTE, right? It's a QuickTime event.
David Cage.
And it's going to be on a streaming service.
Oh no!
About that a second, guys.
Yeah, that's bad. So a QuickTime event game on a streaming service.
That's like playing Forza blindfolded.
Yeah, maybe worse. So that's a good point, Fonz. That's not good. That latency is not going to be great. So I had to do this. I had to do the segment. RDX sponsors. We got Alexis Hazardman. We got. Oh man, this is a very Spanish name. I'm going to guess Guillermo Gelvillo.
Guillermo?
Yes.
Yes.
And Sony Pony. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. We appreciate it. More stuff from Patreon there. Yeah.
Shout out to Galaxican. Oh, Guillermo.
People are going to start changing their names on purpose to trip me up. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I wanted to get that out there as well.
That reminds me of the person that legally changed their name to Mr. PlayStation 2. So,
seriously?
Yeah, somebody legally changed their name to Mr. PlayStation 2. Google it.
Wow. I will not. EA shutting down Visceral Games. This is, oh man, finally a subject we can really dig our teeth into. Chat, let us know what you think about this. Visceral Games, the studio behind Dead Space 1, 2, and of course, the much not beloved 3.
And Battlefield Hardline. Don't forget Battlefield Hardline.
Yes, I wanted to remember them fondly, okay? Fonz, what do you think about this? I know you just ran through the Dead Space games.
I'm pissed off, dude. Like, because this means we're not going to get Dead Space 4. Am I right?
Oh,
I mean,
from them anyway.
You think they'll take them off EA Access?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I was talking about too. With Game Pass. That was one of the games that I had missed out on. I didn't really look into last gen, and then I played it this gen, and I fell in love with the Dead Space series. It was amazing. Like, honestly, great games. I don't understand what's going on here. Why close the doors on these guys?
I thought they were working on a Star Wars game.
I thought they were doing.
They were. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
think
were.
There's a reason why they closed them down. I think it's because EA wanted to put microtransactions in a single player game, and They went, no, we don't want that, and they wanted to make it as a games as a service sort of thing.
Of course they did. See, this is the
And
thing.
then
First of all, fuck EA. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Fuck EA.
Yes.
I love the Dead Space series. Even 3, I like 3 a lot. And you know what? I just want to point out. Okay, I just want to point out. Dead Space 3 came out in 2013. Has microtransactions. I just want to say, microtransactions, not a new thing, okay? Want to point that out first. But it's like EA expected Dead Space 1 to be like this huge, crazy franchise and just make tons of money, right? And it was successful. It was a really good game, but it wasn't what they were expecting. It's like
very niche.
It's like they put too many expectations on it. And when it didn't fit their or meet their astronomical expectations, they're like, okay, this isn't what people want. I'm like, people love that game. Dead Space 1 and 2 are amazing. And then Dead Space 3 comes out, they change everything. You're fighting more humans than actual creatures, and they add a bunch of bullshit microtransactions where you have to like you feel like you have to buy them because they change the way you can upgrade your weapons and your rig, and it's just like, okay. So I'm not surprised. Fuck EA. They've done this so many times before, and I'm upset and I'm angry because I love that series.
Is that honestly true, Nebula? Is that a real story that they wanted to put
I don't. That's what I sort of got the gist from the story. I don't think they actually said it in words, but they said they wanted to change the way that the game was designed. They wanted to change the design elements, and that basically screams EA wanted to put loot crates in it.
If that's true, that's what I was getting at with this whole, creating a game surrounding microtransactions instead of the opposite. And this is going to happen in the future, guys. Fuck microtransactions. Fuck
No, but it was so good on the team's part because they went no, they stood up to EA and it got them killed.
Well, we don't need to spread no bullshit. We really don't know too much about it. Bottom line, their last game underperformed, Battlefield Hardline, and that's EA's fault for putting them on that. So.
Normally, a studio closes because a game isn't successful, and then some time passes, and they're not working on anything. So it's a downside.
But they were working on the Star Wars game, though. So there's got to be something.
But what we don't know is the Star Wars game could have been like in really rough early stages, and it wasn't worth investment. Lionhead Studios shut down for the same reason. Those guys were sitting there, kind of dabbling on that Fable game that wasn't, I don't know. It was a free-to-play game.
That being said, bro, it's EA. They have a history of shutting down good developers just because they don't meet a certain quota. So I'm willing to say and not give EA the benefit of the doubt because they've done this stuff before. They're assholes. Fuck EA. And another one, fuck Activision. I'm just saying.
Oh, jeez, fuck it.
Fuck EA the one?
Dealer
was EA the ones that did that shady crap with the Need for Speed Shift team.
Yeah.
That went to work on Project Cars. Was that EA?
I think EA were just punishing the Project Cars team for making.
Okay, I'm siding with Luca then. You're right. Luca's right then.
Yeah,
you're right, Luca.
I'm just saying I like to stick to hard facts, and we just don't have enough right now. But, of course, that doesn't mean that it's not true either. So their last game just didn't do the greatest. Dead Space 3 apparently even selling millions, underperformed.
I just don't think
they should have just rebooted everything, man. They should have just rebooted Dead Space 4 or Dead Space Reboot.
But you know what?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what's even worse? That project is going to EA Vancouver, which, if I'm remembering correctly, didn't they like kill off a part of BioWare and merged it into EA? Was it Vancouver or was it an American?
I thought that was
branch.
Wasn't that Edmonton?
I don't know. It is very possible that they could have fused them with another team, so keep that in mind as well. Fonz, you got a few more questions for us?
Yeah.
Let's get through some more of these.
Yeah. So Atlanta Chrome wants to know, when can we expect self-service refunds on Xbox One? Seems to have gone silent.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's something I've wondered myself. Unfortunately, I did not have time to look at the questions before the show, so I do not know.
Because we're tired of talking to people if we want to get a refund, and they're like, we only do this once, but this is your 50th time.
Yeah, I don't know. Colt, do you know?
I thought it was already there, so I'm not going to comment. I have no further comments at this time, Your Honor.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was already there, so sorry.
Well, we appreciate your question, Bob, but we just simply don't know the answer.
just bring it back to the Star Wars thing. I've just checked GameSpot, and they've said in its current form, well, this is a quote from EA's website. In its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based linear adventure game. Throughout the development process, we have been testing the game concept with players, listening to the feedback about what and how they want to play, closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. It has become clear to deliver an experience that players want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come. We needed to pivot the designs, which screams microtransactions to me. I don't know if that's anybody else.
Microtransactions and multiplayer, probably.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I don't.
EA.
That's like EA.
Like they just won't learn. Fonz, you got another question for us, bro?
But microtransactions are options, guys.
This year has been a hell of a year for this microtransaction bullshit, ain't it? So I know they're not new, as Lucas said earlier, but fuck, are they becoming really crazy this year? So hell, games that don't even have them are getting accused of getting them too. So it's kind of crazy, even more. Forza 7, right?
At Righteous Ninja wants to know: should I watch RDX with some tacos and Red Stripe, or pizza and Bud Light?
Pizza and Bud Light.
Yeah, because I don't know what Red Stripe is, dude. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
Go with Bud Light and pizza.
Yeah.
Bud Light and pizza, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your question, Red Stripe. Something I have no clue, man. That's all you. That's all you there. I can't advise that.
Yeah, enjoy, because we can't eat while we're on here.
I'm guessing on RDX by doing 2 cans of energy drink and a line of cocaine, so I'm pumped up. So
Okay. Yeah. Well,
there you go.
it might be legal over there before you know it, bro. So keep your dreams alive.
No.
So Dadverse,
The internet is being banned.
Dadverse wants to know what are the chances of one more pre-sale push before the X release?
So another round of Xbox One X pre-orders. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. A lot of people are actually trying to change their pre-orders over from Amazon, because apparently there's some people that can't get their Xbox One X on day one from Amazon or something like that. So that's unfortunate.
I mean, Amazon sucks. Like when I pre-ordered from Amazon, I got it for it was going to be $5.50, and then I pre-ordered from Best Buy and it was $5.30. So I canceled my Amazon one and just went to Best Buy.
I've got a story here. So UK game company Game, I ordered 2 Project Scorpio editions minutes after they went live on their website. Both of them were cancelled. Ordered one on Amazon. They didn't even tell me it was cancelled. It just disappeared off my orders, not an email or anything. So I ended up having to go on the Microsoft store. And now Game have just emailed saying, well, what about your pre-order? You got to pay for it. Well, you told me it was cancelled.
Well, hey, at least you're not Cliffy B. This is where we're going to. Cliffy B, we're going to talk about him real quick. He was saying that Microsoft are basically, his quote boiled down to, Microsoft are probably salty that Lawbreakers went to PlayStation 4 first. And I just laughed out loud.
You know what he replied to that tweet with? You know what he replied?
Fake news.
He said fake news. I'm sorry, Cliffy B, you're turning into the president.
I thought you were checking on his tweets. I thought you were supposed to be managing those.
First of all, he said this after before I got the position. So I just want to say that I cannot take responsibility for this. And Cliffy, stop.
Well, it's hard to tell if it's fake news, because when developers said that they ported their game in 2 hours, he said they're just lying or media bullshit.
Full of it. Yeah,
so he's one of those fake news fucks, or he probably likes saying fake news on shit that's not fake news. So
yeah,
you
but
can't really take anything he says seriously.
They linked his interview in the article that they were talking about, and he was just like, yeah, they probably, they just feel salty about it. Like, no one cares, Cliffy. No one cares, okay? Focus on your 10 people playing the game and making the game better, okay? Or just give it up completely. It's dead. Lawbreakers is dead, okay? It's dead. Let it go. You can't. Don't even bother bringing it to Xbox. No one is gonna buy this game, okay? You pissed on the Xbox fans. You just shat all over them, and now you want to be like, okay, well maybe no one wants your game, bro. Like Microsoft was probably like, thank God we dodged that bullet. Like, enough. Stop it.
You know what the problem was with Lawbreakers, to be honest? When they were talking about this game coming out and I heard about it, I thought to myself, but we already have Overwatch. And honestly, my real thought with that, because when you have such a successful game in that style, like Overwatch is, why do you want something that's not even comparable. Like, why would you even want to play a second-rate version of it?
But he watched Battleborn die when Overwatch was out, and I'm surprised he didn't go, "Oh shit, we've got to delay our game. We've got to change things up."
But Battleborn was a completely different game. Battleborn was like a MOBA style game. It was different.
Yeah, I know it was a MOBA style, but it was still being called Overwatch, but this. And all the people, like, if you watch videos on it, everybody's like, it's Overwatch, but it's like an M-rated Overwatch. It's this, it's that, it's Overwatch this, it's Overwatch that. It's always going to come back to that comparison.
But anybody who compared the two just shouldn't be gamers then, because they were nothing alike.
Yeah, and it's actually strange that we're giving Lawbreakers this much mileage, because, you know, it died within a month, but it actually really died within the first 2 weeks. And even if Cliffy B's team decided right then and there they were going to set aside some time, port to the Xbox, and see if they could kind of keep it afloat, I don't think it would have mattered. I think it would have died just as fast on Xbox and PlayStation and Steam.
I'm
you know how much
confused as to why he says fake news underneath the tweet of his own interview next to his quotes. So
you know what? You know look at it. Like he probably didn't bother clicking on the article. So. He said so much bullshit that he probably doesn't remember half the things that he said.
He's given up on his game so much he's tweeting out Rick and Morty porn parodies. So if that's not like saying anything to you, I don't know.
I mean, you need less energy drinks, Nebula. You're just absolutely insane, bro. You're
I am
just
about
going
to crash extremely
you're
hard.
You're the Bill Murray podcasting, bro. Right now, you're the Bill Murray podcasting.
I'm about to crash and meet extremely hard, so I don't even think I'll be able to hang up the call.
Motherfucker. We're going on to the new Xbox dashboard. All right. And this has got a cool, couple cool things in it, right? For one, you can now record in 1080p. So what is this, Colt? Mike Ybarra confirmed that they went up from 720p to 1080p for Xbox DVR, and they've also increased the bit rate from 4 megabytes per second up to 8 megabytes per second. So you get a pixel and a quality boost on top of that in terms of megabytes per second. It looks good, man. Has anybody else tried this out?
Yes, thank goodness it looks good, because that low bit rate 720p game capture looked awful if you wanted to bring it in and put it up on YouTube for people to see. So thank goodness for this.
Speak from experience here. I was using the dashboard the other day and I recorded some Shadow of War. It looked as good as my capture card did. Didn't have the frame rate. Like it was at 30. It wasn't exported in 60 like I normally do. But it was as good as the capture card, and that's really good for an inbuilt DVR.
Now, it is worth noting that you can only record a maximum of 2 minutes at 1080p. You can record 5 at 720, unless you have an external formatted drive hooked up to your Xbox, a dedicated game footage drive, where you can then record up to an hour straight of 1080p quality footage, and, of course, an hour of 4K footage on the Xbox One X. So what I did is I went out and got a 128 gigabyte or 124 gigabyte Samsung flash drive, a USB
I
flash.
got a terabyte one.
Like a thumbstick?
Yeah, like a thumbstick one, right? And I plugged it in. I'm going to plug it into the back, and that's going to be my game capture drive. And then when it's filled up, after I use it for a few days, I'll take it out, plug it into the PC, and transfer it all over. So I think it's awesome.
You can use a flash drive to record longer game clips.
Yeah, you can't record to the cloud service that they have for longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I thought
it was 1080p. So
yeah, I thought it was limited to hard drives, but flash drives work. Shit, I got a ton of those laying around.
I've got an 800 gigabyte one strapped into the back of my 1S. So.
A flash drive or a hard drive?
No, it's a flash drive. It's genuinely like a little metal thing that I got for Christmas last year. Pretty
that's
neat.
cool.
So is the USB ports on the front different from the ones in the back?
Yeah, I think, but I don't actually know for sure. So don't quote me. But I think I just. So yeah.
Well, I think bottom line, it's good news. And if you got a little flash drive or a hard drive, plug it in, and you can have an hour of gameplay at either 1080 on the S or 4K on the X. Hopefully, they bring over the option for 60 FPS on the X. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Dealer. Dealer.
Wait, what did you just say? Dealer? What do you mean 60 FPS?
I said hopefully they bring over an option for 60 FPS recording on the X. There's no.
I thought that was already confirmed.
Yeah, they said that, and they mentioned it in the XFest papers, but there's been nothing else said about it. So far, the only options that are available, it just says 4K. It says nothing about frame rate. So I'm sure it'll be there. I'm just wanting to emphasize that it needs to be there.
You don't know if there's any difference then between the USBs in the front and the back then. You don't need to use either one. Or doesn't have to be a specific
It
one.
doesn't say. It just says as long as it's a hard drive. And to my knowledge, a hard drive can go into any USB in the console.
Yeah, Brian Demonico.
Yeah.
Now I'm messing up names. Brian says that they're all USB 3. So yeah, look into that.
You're good to go. We got to give a shout out to going on up to 400 people watching live. Hit that like button, guys. We appreciate it.
So, dealers, what I did last night, because I just turned on my Xbox to update it. The first thing I checked for was if you could check to see, check the profiles of the people who message you, because I know that's what you were asking for a while, and you can finally do that.
Notifications or the
So when you for notifications, so you can just go and check.
What do you mean? So like somebody sends me a party invite, I go to notifications, click on it, and I can see their profile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is useful.
Well, you're not in the preview program
I dropped out because I couldn't play my own games, so that's just one of the biggest problems with previews. People, it fucks up, and then I hear people in the preview complaining about the Xbox. I'm like, you're in the preview. You're not really even having the same experience as the rest of us. So
well, I dropped down to beta, and it's been a bit more of a smoother experience for me. So
that's good. I want to get into GT Sport. The game. This is surprising, and bear with me here. This is surprising because at the same point in its life cycle, Forza was above a 90. I think a 92 on Metacritic. Forza 7. Gran Turismo Sport currently, last time I checked, was at a 78 on Metacritic. And
I just checked.
Whoa, really?
And in its most recent review, it's been compared against Forza, and I'm just going to read off some quotes from a Games Radar review.
Forza 7's got an 86.
Yeah, I said at the same point in its life cycle, it was at a 90, 92. So basically, in the review that I'm quoting here, he's comparing the game to Forza, and he's just giving his overall thoughts as somebody who's played pretty much all the racing games come out recently. He says the game is easier to drive than other quote-unquote sim racers, so just more grip, I guess, inherently. He says the single-player content is pretty much like the PSP Gran Turismo. So if you were a fan of the PSP version of Gran Turismo, you get a single-player similar to that. Not a real deep, in-depth thing there. The game is essentially always online, with only the arcade mode being accessible when you're offline. So keep that in mind. You can't even take a screenshot.
For the gamers, am I right?
Yeah, for the gamers. You can't even take a screenshot when you're offline on this game. He says that what does he say? He says it looks great, but it's not as photorealistic as its competitors. One of the big things with Gran Turismo Sport is during the replays, there is additional post-processing slapped onto the image that is not there when you're playing the game, apparently. So the game looks better in the replays than it does when you're playing it, which I've known that for a while because I could just tell by looking at it. But the replay cams are better in Gran Turismo. The perspective of what you're seeing the race are better in Gran Turismo, but the game does not look that good. That's why you always see replay footage.
Playing it though, but that's like saying that pre-rendered CGI trailer is going to be what the game looks like.
Well, I mean, it's all in-engine and stuff. It's just it's got to do. It's like going like it's got more post-processing. It makes it glimmer a little bit more, makes it look better.
But that's like people saying it's ridiculous. Like you're not playing the game at that. You can't use that as an excuse.
Oh, trust me. I mean, we agree with you. I'm just getting it out there. So he says it's not as photorealistic as its competitors. He also says, in isolation, and this is pretty much a direct quote, in isolation, Gran Turismo Sport is great, but not as good as Forza Motorsport 7. Forza 7 is better than GT Sport in pretty much every way you could choose. So keep that in mind. But he does say for PlayStation guys, for those without options to play Forza 7, the game is pretty good. It's a 4 out of 5 to him, which is an 8 out of 10. Pretty. It's a pretty big bomb there coming from an official review on Metacritic.
But now there's only 4. I'm sorry, Fonz. I'll say this real quick. There's only 4 or 5
at the moment.
Yeah, there's 4 reviews out for GT Sport at the moment, and there are currently 72 out for Forza 7. Go ahead, Fonz. I'm sorry.
But from what I'm hearing from you dealers, this guy's like, this sucks about it. This sucks about it. 8 out of 10.
Well, he said positive stuff. I just want to get to the juicy stuff because we're comparing it to Forza 7. We have to.
Shout out to
a little bit of insider info.
Shout out to M4 Donnelly because he wanted us to talk about this situation with GT Sport.
Oh, okay.
So the only low review for GT Sport is a 70 out of 100 by Trusted Reviews, and I just cross-referenced, and they gave Forza
80.
7 an 80.
Yeah.
Nice, dealer. Way to do your homework.
Been doing it for years. So, Fonz, you played Gran Turismo Sport. What do you think about this? You think this is well-deserved? What?
I think, well, I've only played the demo, and from that, I don't have much to go off of. It's a good game. I mean, it feels good, and it looks good. It doesn't look terrible by any means. I still think Drive Club looks miles better, but the Drive Club plays like ass, in my opinion. I don't.
I think Gran Turismo looks absolutely fantastic. I've been telling people like crazy. I think it looks really, really good, and I would hope it plays up to par. But
what's sad, Colt?
It's a beautiful game.
Drive Club.
I went
really good, Colt. I mean that game looks beautiful.
I've heard that so many times. Yeah.
Right. This does not control.
It's also a 30 frames game as well, though. So, what are you trying to say, Nebula? I hear you in the background.
I'm trying to say. I went to Insomnia 60, which is the biggest UK games festival. I tried Gran Turismo Sport out in VR, and as a VR racer, it's great. I mean, if I had choices, I played it in VR. It was great. It handled like you thought it would be. It looked for a VR game, it looked good, especially running on the PSVR. But I can play it in VR, or I'll have Forza 7. I'll take Forza 7, just purely because I prefer the way that game plays. And I'm not going to shoot people down. Gran Turismo Sport, if you like that, yeah, that's fine. But there's better options if you've got options.
Yeah, it's all about if you've got options. So if you got the option between Gran Turismo and Forza 7, I didn't think you'd get hammered this hard early on. They're not the only ones hammering this game. Keep that in mind. I just thought those were very interesting quotes because they were direct comparisons in the same review. And, you know, Games Radar didn't particularly rate Forza extremely high either, I don't think. So, yeah. You can,
out of 10 racer.
Yeah. Gran Turismo, what is that? Gran Turismo's got like 140, 150 cars, 15 tracks. And a very, very limited single player, where Forza's got a fully fleshed out single player. I think the best single player they've ever had, probably. You've got over 720 cars or whatever, all upgradable, which I don't think Gran Turismo Sports cars are upgradable. And you've got 30-something tracks as well with full dynamic weather, which Gran Turismo doesn't have. So I think it's an easy win.
Excuse me, but there's loot crates and there's obviously microtransactions. I checked. Legit, 100%. I checked the Xbox store.
Games Radar gave Forza 7 100.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
I thought I watched that review. I thought it was like an 85.
It's up here. There are 3 100 scores for Forza 7 and 99, some 98. Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. Holy crap. I don't know why you'd give a racing game 100. You know, it doesn't have a real good story. But that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I've never been into a motorsport game like this, and I've spent some time talking to Dealer about the game and actually been on chat with him while we're both playing our own thing on Forza. And it's kind of, I've developed a real appreciation for the motorsport series since I love the Horizon series so much. And I've just gotten into the whole of running through the career on Motorsport 7, and I absolutely am enjoying it.
Hey, somebody in the chat said Gran Turismo Sport has microtransactions. Not sure if that's true.
No, they confirmed that was a no-go. They said that it won't feature microtransactions, but it will feature paid DLC.
Few Sony exclusives have microtransactions.
I took a picture of the top-rated consumer review for Gran Turismo, and it was just fucking cancer in word form. It was ridiculous. It's like a Kazurai or fucking what's his name, Yoshida. He's like, Yoshida confirmed 400 cars coming to the game for free, and all this fucking trash. Right?
That's a bunch of bollocks. 400 cars coming for free. Just the amount of effort that it would take to render and make those 400 cars unique would just be ridiculous. 400 just a random number they've pulled out of their head.
Yeah, of course. But once again, guys, that's pretty much been our hour. I want to say thank you. Please hit that like button. We appreciate it. Next week's RDX will be kind of more back to the regular scheduled programming.
British person.
Yeah, there won't be a British person here, but, you know, we had a good time. A little rough at times, but we're going to get in the swing of things. We'll learn it, and we'll
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm crashing.
2 o'clock in the morning. That's why Nebula can't hear anybody. So, you know, we appreciate you coming on, Nebula. We do thank you, man.
Yeah.
And
cool.
man, guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Once again, hit that like button. Fonz, what you got going on, bud, before we get out of here?
Nothing much, man. Well, you can find me on Twitter, Jay Fonzarelli, or here on YouTube, Jay Fonzarelli, or Everything According to Me. Either works. So
Everything according to me. You're almost at 2,000 subscribers. So
woo! Yeah.
hit a stride, bro. So that's good. Let's get Fonz up to 1,000 subs, guys. Go find Jay Fonzarelli on YouTube and give him a subscribe and then unsubscribe. Take his dreams away from him. Cole Eastwood, what have you been up to, buddy?
Nothing. Like I said, Shadow War. Having a good time. There's freaking too many games to play. If you want, I'm having fun actually doing these logos for people. If you want one, send me an email or message me on Twitter and we'll talk about it, because it's been pretty fun. I've drawn some pretty cool stuff for people and it's been fun. So
what about you?
If you want.
I cut Cole Eastwood a commercial a fraction short. Sorry.
Oh, you said my name, right?
Yeah, what are you been up to?
There's more.
Oh, I just want to say it was a great show tonight. The chat was awesome as per usual. I had a really good time. I'm not up to much. You guys can catch me on Twitter at @TheAshenLuca, and I will be starting my own channel soon. And thanks, Nebula, for coming on. Appreciate you, bro.
Cool.
Yes, and Nebula, you got any place people can follow you at or anything like that? You got your own shit going on?
Follow me on Twitter at Breakneck Nebula. It's just memes and me ranting on at Sony fanboys, or you can visit my YouTube channel for actual quality content at Breakneck Nebula. So
actual quality content that's not just shit posting. So it's not the toxic trash. Like if Halo Wars drops 2 fucking frames on a pre-release alpha build, you're not going to make a video like a fucking idiot about it and talk about how X1X is trash like some of these other fucking idiots, right?
You don't do that, right?
I'm gonna just
better not.
Of
I just want to
course
stab
not.
people sometimes. All right, man. Well, once again, we can't thank you enough for coming on and the support you've offered. So the rest of you guys checking the show out, thanks. If you missed any topics, check it out when it uploads. And of course, if you're interested in being a patron, coming on the show, whatnot, check out the link in the description. We're out.